friends.
Oh, we're doing this again.
It's time for the spectacular.
Oh, I'm excited.
A jumbo series of live shows.
Cool.
With guests whom you all know.
We sure do.
We got all you need in the TVCO app, which is free. We're talking everyday life with BB alums, old school, new school. It's all epic fun. So let's get started, friends, because us three got a lot to discuss.
We do.
It's time to enjoy the show.
It is.
Let's see who'll be joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Guess who's enjoying the intro?
Hooray!
It's me, and I'm sorry, Nicole, I tried for you, but we got guests. We gotta start the show. Go, Nicole, start the show. Start it now.
Fine.
Hello, Nicole, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Eric. How are you today?
I am doing the best I think we have ever done.
I agree with that. Amen to that.
I am so excited. Thank you, everyone who has tuned out to one of our very special Sunday broadcasts here. We are so happy to welcome all of you, of course, wherever you guys are watching this show, whether it be Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, the Hello Friends community in the TVCO app. Make sure that you guys follow the show. And what else, Nicole?
Make sure you like it and subscribe. And if you're listening to the audio version of this on your favorite podcast provider, be sure to please leave it a 5-star rating and a positive review. And of course, as our guest would say, today is a sharing Sunday. So share the show with everybody, with friends, family, loved ones, your neighbors, your mailman, everybody in your life.
And of course, you can always visit our website, hellofriendspod.com, to see our live show schedule. We are live every single day. And Nicole, I think we should tell people really quickly, who is our guest on Tuesday?
Our guest this coming Tuesday is the incredible Matt from Pentatonix.
I am so excited that we will be joined by him. We love some Pentatonix over here. But Nicole, we cannot bury the lead anymore. I should have said, but first, Nicole, I will allow you to do the honors.
Okay, our friends, we have so many topics for this guest, so many questions for this guest, so many inspirational messages that we want from this guest. But first, an introduction. She is a television personality, news anchor, producer, an incredible host of an amazing show, of course, and a children's book author. She is the fabulously beautiful, the incredible Julie Chen Moonves.
Julie!
Thank you so much for inviting me. I mean, hello, friends.
Hello, Julie.
Julie just said hello, friends, everyone. Everyone calm down.
I know. Don't freak out.
I should have said, but first, hello, friends.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. Julie, how are you doing? How is this holiday season been? How are things? We haven't seen you in a while.
I know, I have to say, it definitely has been different for all of us, and I am looking to the bright side of things. Look, this pandemic has been hard on everyone, some more than others. And you know that song, Always Look at the Bright Side of Life? Well, anyway, if you don't, look it up. I'm looking at this time as, there are people who look at the glass half full, half empty. I like to look at it as half full because for me personally, this pause that has been put on my life has been a good thing. There's been downsides, of course, but you could sit there and complain about the downside, and it's like being in a rocking chair. You can keep rocking, but you're not going anywhere. So we all want to get through it. So let's all exercise caution and stop looking at wearing a mask as a political statement. What's the harm? Let's all exercise caution. And the sooner we all behave, the sooner we can all go back to the things that we did enjoy before. So this Christmas, was very different for me and my family. One of my family members at the last minute couldn't come, even though he lives in town, because he found out he was, exposed to someone who tested positive, but then came back negative, who knows, and just said, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out. And we said, we're going to miss you, but thank you for being safe. It was I'd rather be bummed than sick or, God forbid, dead. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
I know.
I agree 100%. Go ahead, Eric.
I was just going to say, like you said, I think that is the positive that has come out of all of this, is that we have bonded, I think, as family, as friends, even as, an online community. We have been open to new avenues of ways to connect to people. And I think you're right. If we focus more on the positive of the situation, there has been, things to focus on that are good that have come out of this too.
Yeah. I mean, I think this was a good time for many of us to re-examine our lives and reprioritize what was important. Things that were important to me a year ago today, pre-pandemic and pre-quarantine. Now I'm like, they say don't sweat the small stuff. Well, now we know. We know why not to. Let's save our sweating for the big stuff.
It's so true. So you think about, last year, a lot of traveling, a lot of like visiting friends and family. Let's say you're complaining about your suitcase not zippering or being late to a flight. That's so minuscule compared to what's going on this year.
For sure. Sure. I actually heard something funny the other day. I had to go see my doctor, and I had not seen him in a long time, but I had to go. And he said, how are you guys holding up? I said, I think I'm secretly a hermit. I kind of like having to stay at home. He said, you know how many patients I've had who was like, you know what? I couldn't stand my friends. I didn't want my friends anyway. I said, well, I'm not one of those people, but that is funny. There are a few people, I'm sure, in your lives that you thought like, why was I keeping in touch with that person out of obligation? And even though that person always makes me feel crummy, when we hang up, I'm just going to slowly wean myself from that not so healthy friendship or whatever it was.
I think the pandemic has also brought something very important to Julie. And I want to take a question from one of our Hello Friends community members in the TV Co app. It is from JP from New Jersey. And he says, question, has Julie had any time to binge watch anything during quarantine? And if so, what?
Okay. In the beginning, like everyone, I did the Tiger King thing, but I have to be honest. See, I come from a local news background. I started my career as a broadcaster covering local news in Dayton, Ohio, then New York City. And as I'm sitting there watching Tiger King with my husband, I say, I feel like he's someone I could have gone to interview when I was working local news. It was a little bit too real for me. And I wasn't that fascinated like everyone else was. So, and then I started did you hit that pause where you couldn't watch another frame of television unless it was Big Brother? And I started getting into movies. That's what we did as a family. So we were, I guess you can't say you were binge watching a movie, but it was good to catch up on classics that I had never seen. Like early on, I'd never seen, you guys are probably too young, but Amadeus, that movie with Tom Hulce, amazing. He plays Wolfgang Amadeus. And my husband looked at me and goes, "You've never seen Amadeus?" I said, "Well, I know what we're watching tonight." And we introduced some classics. And then we got goofy, like we watched, again, you guys are probably too young, but like stuff like Meatballs or Caddyshack, like some stuff was not appropriate for, my son who's 11. But then my husband and I would stay up late to watch on our own, like, we don't get tired of Animal House. I'm sorry, we don't. And I've never liked scary movies, but I would say early on, as my husband and I would watch like what my son called like an old person's movie, we kind of let like everyone did, we weren't the greatest parents we just said yes to everything, right? My son saw The Shining, he saw Us, but the good news is he overcame a lot of his fears. So I wouldn't say there was any series that I was binge watching. It was more like old movies and movies that are old that I never saw before.
I love
Yeah, that was kind of it. Like we kind of have like Die Hard 1. That's become our Christmas tradition. You know.
I've never seen
Um,
it.
Oh, Nicole
I've never.
Anthony,
I know. I've never seen Die Hard. I know. I'm ashamed, guys.
Eric, are
I-
you? Which
I'm on
camp-
it. I am on it. We do watch parties in the Hello Friends community. We're going to start incorporating those with movies soon. And clearly, I know the first movie we're doing.
I don't understand how it's a Christmas movie. When I think Christmas, I think The Grinch, I think Frosty, I think Rudolph, I Die Hard. I go, no, thank you.
You have to think outside the box. You have
Okay.
to think outside the box, and just go with it. Then
Okay.
you're right. It's not in like The Grinch and you know a Christmas story, Christmas Carol. I'm like mixing up my titles now. Charles Dickens. It's not like Charles Dickens, but it's an 80s, modern day for 80s time period Christmas movie.
That's
You'll
probably
see
did.
80s is not my favorite. 80s is not my favorite decade. I'm more like, I like the 60s and I like more modern.
You see, my 80s is kind of my era. I'm a little bit embarrassed to say, for many reasons. You know, that was like the greed is good and the me generation, terrible. But you know, I was born in 1970, so my teenage years, it was like 80s, big hair. I'm from Queens, Hairspray, the music, the culture. So you know, it's a little bit of a homecoming for me when I watch a movie like Die Hard. But just have an open mind, Nicole. Then get back to me.
Okay.
She doesn't understand, Julie. I was born 1980, and I always wished that my teens were in the 80s instead of in the 90s. And I always try and give Nicole the 80s culture. And she was like, I don't get it. I don't get why is it neon scrunchies? I'm like,
I like
Nicole.
scrunchies now, but like Julie, were you a very scrunchy wearing, like bunchy socks with sneakers?
Yes, all of it. Embarrassing. Yes, and big shoulder pads, and like I made the mistake of getting a perm 3 times. Chinese hair does not take well to perms, and I didn't learn that the first or second time. I kept thinking, because you know, you look through the magazines, it's like I want that, and I came out looking like my dogs are recreating the scene from The Lion King when Scar and Mufasa, they do this. I might have to make an appearance, but that's what you hear. Yeah, so I did do the scrunchies and the perms and, you know, the hair that looks like wet and 10X, and everyone in Long Island will know what I'm talking about. Of a certain age.
Yeah.
And maybe
And
not.
I was just going to say, and Julie, you don't have to worry about it. We have advanced noise canceling. It only picks up our voices.
Oh, so you don't hear the Lion
Nope.
King recreation
Nope.
here. Okay,
Nope.
good.
Yep. We live on Long Island. There is, you know, lots of traffic and helicopters. So we have to get rid of all that noise.
And I live in the Anthony house, so there's a lot of loud voices and dogs barking and fire alarms that randomly go off.
Yeah.
I get it. I love it. That's family, you know.
Mhm.
I
So
do
is
have a
mine.
shout out to Old Brookville, Long Island,
Oh,
because have you guys ever been to Young's Farms
yes.
dairy for those pies?
I don't think
Oh my
so.
gosh. If you haven't, I had never heard of it, but I haven't lived in New York for decades. And one of my best girlfriends from high school, she moved in that area. And she said, oh, I'm right by Young's Dairy or Young's Farms or Young's Farm. I said, oh, what's that? And she said, you don't know. So a couple of years ago, she took me in there. And I'm telling you, the pies and the bakery there were like, bar none, the best that I've ever had.
I gotta check it. So now I need Die Hard and Young's Pies. Which,
Young's Farm.
Julie, because, you know, for those that maybe don't know, Julie, you were born and raised in Queens.
Mhm.
So
was
I
born
did
in
have a
Queen. Yes, Bayside,
And I-
Queens.
nice. And I had a friend kind of dispute me about whether New York had the best bagel and pizzas. And I didn't know how to respond to that. I said, that's not even a question. That's not even a debate. It doesn't exist. Bagels, pizza, best in New York.
Where's this person from that's like arguing this ridiculous point?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
why. They're going to say
Exactly.
Pennsylvania has better bagels and pizza than New York?
Yes.
Find
know.
me one souvenir that says best bagels or best pizza in any town in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Like, you have the Philly cheesesteak,
Yeah,
and we have bagels and pizza.
Exactly. So now if this person argues with me, I'm going to say, listen, Julie Chen Moonves told me that I'm right.
And I would argue that Queens, Brooklyn, that area has the best bagels of New York. Like if we were going to start whittling down where the best bagels come from in New York, I do think it is there.
I love that. Although there's a place in Manhattan that I feel like has the best.
And
I'm sorry to say that.
I'm getting breaking news. They imported it from Brooklyn. They had it shipped to them.
Probably. But I will say, I find the pizza parlors in Queens and Brooklyn are better than the ones in Manhattan. The pizzeria joints are much better in Queens.
Nothing's better than a local pizza place as opposed to, like, obviously the chains. But we always end up talking about food on the show. I do want to take a question from Cherry in the Hello Friends chat. What's Julie's favorite comfort food?
I have so much. I'll tell you, I came out to Southern California in 1987 to go to college. And I really had not had Mexican food, because you have to remember, in 87, I'm 17 years old. Queens didn't really back then have a lot of Mexican restaurants. My favorite comfort food would probably be anything that's Mexican. If it's a bean and cheese burrito, if it's a steak fajita, if it's nachos, if it's like chicken enchiladas, anything with rice, beans, like salsa, pico de gallo, like anytime my family's like, we're having Mexican food tonight, I'm like, yay. I'm like, I could have Mexican food every night of the week. And again, it was because when I came out here for college, I was like, a fish taco? I've never heard of this.
I love Taco
Bell. I even love Taco Bell.
I'm obsessed. Here we go. I was just introduced to Taco Bell like a few months ago. So that was an interesting.
By who?
By Eric, co-host.
Oh, did you get the classic ground beef taco? Or, the best kept secret there is the Mexican pizza. I don't know if they still have it, but
they do.
I had the Mexican pizza. I had hard shell tacos. It comes in like a bundle with Mountain Dew. It's the best.
Oh yeah, that's a dream come true, right? Yeah,
she's become obsessed. Anytime we finish anything for shows or work, she literally is like, taco time? Is it time for Taco Bell? I'm like, it's not a secret. They're everywhere. You can stop on your way home.
That's hilarious. Well, see, I'm glad you enlightened her, Eric, and welcome to the club, Nicole.
Welcome
Thank you
to
so
the
much.
Taco Bell Club.
So listen, I know here on Hello Friends, we're very, very passionate about food, but we also want to talk about something you're very passionate about, Julie, which is your spirituality and Have Faith Family, which is on Instagram. I follow it, and you guys do like weekly sermons and inspirational messages, and you have like all the days named. So like I said, today's a sharing Sunday, and I just absolutely adore it. So I wanted to ask you to maybe share about that a bit.
Yes. So Have Faith Family is the Instagram channel that we're on, and it's made up of me and 4 of my oldest friends, dating back to the 80s and the 90s. And the one common bond we all have is that we love the word. We love leading into scripture during hard times, as we've all been doing more than ever during this pandemic. So remember I said I got my start in local news. I'm in Dayton, Ohio. I'm 25 years old, and my favorite cameraman to work with, who's from Dayton, Ohio, is a guy by the name of Lee Body. He was not a pastor back then. So fast forward, that's 1995. Now he is the pastor of a church in Boston, Massachusetts. And his wife, who is a Bible study teacher, she worked with us in Dayton, Ohio back in the day. She was the 6 p.m. producer. So these are people from my past life who I knew them as just coworkers and friends. And they reached out to me not too long ago, and they sent me this, my own Bible, my own study Bible. I had never owned a Bible until they sent this to me a couple of years ago. So we reconnected. And then during the pandemic, we just kind of formed this, like we needed to provide hope for each other and anyone else who wants some hope. And we started Have Faith Family. And then I invited my girlfriend from college. She was my roommate. And even though we lived together through college, I never knew what a devout Christian that she was. So we started bonding during the pandemic over like scripture. I said, come join me and Pastor Lee and his wife, Danita. And then the last piece of the puzzle is someone that also went to college with me and my college roommate. He is an anchorman in Austin, Texas. So like these are friends of mine for anywhere from 25 to 32 years. And we decided, let's do a little Sunday sermon on Instagram to anyone who wants a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith, a whole lot of God. I think we need God right now. I feel like this pause is God saying to us, all right, people, let's all re-examine how we've been treating each other and living our lives. And can we all be a little bit more Christ-like? Who could argue with that?
Right.
And that's what we created to spread the word and spread some joy and hope and faith and peace and love and patience and respect and tolerance. So that's what this is about.
Absolutely. And Julie, I love it so much because, you know, I always say on the show, regardless of your beliefs or what you believe in, I have so much faith in my God and my journey and my path. And I have never owned a Bible until I received one from you, Julie. So I was born and raised, you know, Catholic and whatnot, but I never actually owned my own Bible. And I got this from you in what I call the BB Spiritual Care Package that you sent all of the castmates. So I wanted to ask you, like, I don't know, what was your like thought process in making the care packages? Like, is it something that you thought of because of one particular event or just in general because of COVID?
It was all the above. So typically at the end of each season, and like we just wrapped our 25th season of Big Brother. I know we called it season 22, but we had a couple of celebrity versions and then one that was only OTT, over the top, online. And I usually send like an end of season gift to about like 40 or 50 key people that I work with. And, you know, usually it's like, you know, a gift card or like, you know, a pair of like earbuds or whatever it is. And then this year I thought, oh, and I always start the season with like sending cupcakes to like the whole staff and crew on like premiere night or our first live show night. And then this year they said, well, obviously because of COVID, you can't send food. So I was like, oh. And then at the end of the season, I thought, so I did something else at the beginning of the season. And at the end of the season, I thought, you know, we're all in this together. I don't know everyone on staff. There's like more than 400 people between our art department and all the different camera operators that come in and out through the weeks. And I said, everyone gets something, but it has to be COVID compliant.
Yes.
And I thought, not everyone's going to want a Bible, and I won't be offended if they don't want it, if they leave it on my doorstep, but everyone's going to get a mask that says BB22 by the grace of God, because I really feel like our show got on this past August by the grace of God. And Nicole, you may or may not know this, but CBS and Big Brother, where the show was shot, that lot, I feel like our show was kind of the pilot program to see, can we get this lot and all the shows that shoot on this lot back up and running? And we were kind of like a pilot program because early on, I mean, you were locked away in the house. It was a ghost town except for Big Brother staff and crew. And even the Big Brother staff and crew that was on the lot where you lived in the Big Brother house, that was slim. If you didn't have to be there for your job, you did it from home. And it was scary. It was like, that lot is usually, you know, bursting with programs in production. And I would drive on every week and like maybe I'd see someone and you have the mask on, and I didn't know, and there was a lot of hate going around the universe against people of Asian descent. You know, you brought this here, you go back to your. So like I have my mask on and I don't have any hair or makeup on, but you can see I'm Asian, and I'm thinking, I'm driving on, and I thought, and I'm driving through the city to get to work, and I'm thinking, am I going to be a victim of a hate crime? And
Oh my
I
God.
remember, yeah, I'm really thinking this, right? So I'm driving, because you were reading all these stories about like, I'm sure you read them. But anyway, I'm
Yes.
driving on a lot, and one of like the truck, the forklift operators, like I get this loud honk, and I'm thinking, oh no, like here it comes. And I look up, and the guy goes, welcome home. Like it was like so touching. And like he didn't know who I was. He just knew this is a fellow employee of this CBS Radford Studios lot, and let's all be safe and get back to work. And I thought, we need more of that.
Yes.
So the care package had the Word of God, a study Bible, because I know the Bible can be very intimidating to read. If and like a study Bible is like Bible for dummies, like someone like myself before I owned one. Like if someone plopped down a Bible in front of me, and if it was like, let's say the King James version, I would be like, Shakespeare is easier to read and understand. I don't, you know, this is in modern language. And because it's a study Bible, it tells you, all right, let me break it down for you. Here's what's happening at this point in history or in this time. And I forgot what else I put in. Oh yeah, I put in a Dunkin' Donuts commuter mug because East Coast, who doesn't love Dunkin' Donuts? And friend's granola. My friend is trying to start her own company and reinvent her life. And I said, I love your granola. I'm going to put it in my gift bag. And it's sealed. So
whoa. The plot thickens with the granola, Eric.
Well, this is the thing, Julie. Nicole was like, "What? I love granola, but I'm not maybe sure about the granola. Like, what? Like, what's the granola connection?"
Because wait, give some backstory. I unboxed it on a live show, so I was giving the meaning of each item, and then I got to the granola, and everybody's like, "Well, what's the meaning of it?"
Okay, the meaning of it, it's called One Sun. Am I right? Because like,
yes,
like quarantine brain, I'm like, you. Oh yeah, my son Charlie. I'm like, Charlie. So my girlfriend, she has always lived a very healthy life. She's the real deal. You know, she wants to save the environment, the planet. She eats well. She exercises. She, her kids finally pushed her to the edge to create the granola that she created for them as kids growing up. They said, Mom, you got to package it and sell it. So she sent me some as she launched her company called One Sun. And as I'm eating it, I'm like, this is delicious.
It's so good.
Like, what product do you know that has entire whole cashews? It's like whole cashews, not cashew bits or cashew parts. And there's chocolate chips in there, dried cranberries. It's so delicious and made with love. And when she sent it to me, I thought, okay, I want everyone to know about this. I want to help my friend with her business. I'm going to buy it to put into the gift bag and hopefully create other lovers of her granola and future customers. So that's the granola story.
Well, Julie, I don't.
Friends got to tell friends.
100%. Now, here's the thing, and maybe this is going to be good market research for your friend because we may have changed the name of the granola.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Well, okay. So in coming up with the significance of it, we're like, oh, it's organic, it's like cleansing, like it's, it's good, it's spiritual. And then we started here in the Hello Friends community calling it Chanola for Chanola because we thought you had made it. So we called it Chanola.
Now, Julie, here's how we can help. Watch this. Wherever you guys are watching, if you're in the Hello Friends community, TV Co-op, YouTube, Twitch, anywhere you guys are watching in the chats, Do you like calling it Chinola? Should we call it Chinola? It's looking. Oh, maybe people are not liking it. Oh, they are. Oh, they're
Oh,
loving
oh.
calling it Chinola.
I'm honored.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. But the reason I'm going to have to vote to
Yeah.
evict
Yeah.
Chinola from Hello
Oh my
Friends
God.
is
Okay.
because then if people
Yeah.
want to check it out, they won't know where to get it.
Right.
So now we
So
know.
now
This has
we
been a
know.
running.
But
This has been a running theme on the shows. How's the Chinola? What's the update on the Chinola? Now we know.
Now we know.
unless you call it the one son Chinola, one son granola Chinola, something I don't know.
Love it.
Oh, I
I'll leave
like
it-
that. One son granola. One son Chinola granola.
Meanwhile, your friend is like, no, I love the name. I love the name that I came up with.
which
No, it's
is
a
probably
lovely name, but
like,
we weren't sure.
No,
then you
I
gotta
love it.
stickers, but you guys
Yeah.
know.
Oh, we know.
Oh.
Oh, we know. I'm sorry, Nicole. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh man, I mean, when it comes to things we know, I know somebody we know, a dear friend of mine, and I would argue a dear friend of Julie's and a dear friend of Eric's, is the one and only Cliff Hogg, who has a question in the TV Co app for you, Julie.
Mhm.
Yes. Hear it.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Cliff would like to know what former house guest has played the game Big Brother closest to the way that you would play it if you were in the house.
Well, let me just establish, I don't think I would be a good player because I did like a 4-hour version once with my former co-host when I used to host that daytime talk show called The Talk.
Mhm.
And I was terrible. I also knew I had a big target on my back. So when you operate in life, in the Big Brother house, anywhere, out of a space of fear, because I was operating from a place of fear in that house for 4 hours because I knew I had a target. They're like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we got the host booted, right? I made very irrational decisions. And I think that's true for all of us, no matter what situation or place we're in. So I don't want to insult anyone by saying they played a stinky game and that's how I would have played. I will say that I think I wish I had played it the way either Marissa Jarrett Winokur, who won the first Celebrity Big Brother, because she played with honesty and truth. And sure, she didn't win a lot of competitions. I'm not even sure she won one, but she won the game without having to lie, and that was very impressive. And Derek Levasseur, who was an undercover police officer from the Boston area, I believe, somewhere in Massachusetts, maybe not Boston. So yes, he had to be quote unquote deceitful because he couldn't tell people, hey, I'm a detective. So there was that big lie, but he wasn't deceitful in his day-to-day gameplay of like promising someone the sun and then stabbing them in the back. He was smart. He wasn't slimy. So but then there's a part of me that enjoyed watching, Dr. Will Kirby in season 2 tell you to your face, I'm gonna lie to you. And then he does it with this smile, and then you keep this guy around. There was something masterful and entertaining. I don't think I could play like that, but I did enjoy watching him play the game.
That's always what I say. The people that I know I don't play like, I go, damn, that's like, I don't know how you tick that way. So it's very amazing to watch when someone can be manipulative or can stab people in the back. I can appreciate it from afar.
Yeah, you appreciate it from afar, and also like we shouldn't judge, right? Because this, Nicole, like people love to. The one thing that bothers me in this during this pandemic is that didn't we learn anything about judging people? Like, aren't we kind of all in this together? Let's try and help each other rather than tear each other down. And there's a lot of tearing down that exists outside the walls of Big Brother in the online community. And that bothers me. That's never going to go away. That's sad to me. I would just say ignore the noise and don't pay any attention to it. You should only care about people who you love and respect and what they think of you, not an anonymous bully who like gets some sort of sick happiness from like spewing hate and meanness. Pray for that person. That person
Right.
wouldn't be mean if they had joy and happiness and love in their life. So pray for that person to have God's wisdom speak to their heart.
And I always say, and I believe it was the famous RuPaul who made it popular, was what other people think about me is none of my business. I know
True.
what I'm thinking and think, but is that why you did those kind of sign-offs during this last All-Star season? You always ended the show with, be kind to others and kind of words of wisdom. Was that, why you were doing that, to put that out there?
Absolutely. Look, I'm thinking I have whatever it was, 13 weeks of a platform once a week in, by the grace of God, a popular show. Let me use at least a few seconds to plant a seed of positivity. Even if you're not religious, or even if you're an atheist or agnostic, whoever you are, God loves you. I'm sorry. My belief, we are all children of God. He created all of us. He created us to do good in this world, not to be, the office jerko. So let me at least plant one little seed, and no matter where you're coming from, that you just kind of listen and go like, that's not a bad point. Or, yeah, maybe I'll try that. Or just, plant the seed, and then maybe throughout the week, something you're exposed to will water it and let it grow from there.
Right.
It can't hurt. All right. I figure
Absolutely.
it can't hurt. Because I knew a lot of people wanted escape during that time. And I love that they came back to Big Brother, because I know a lot of ratings are down for other shows because it was a weird time. But it was nice that people were still craving a little bit of escape with our, fun, silly at times, silly in a good way show. But let's not forget, like, we're real people. These are real lives. Let's put something out there in the atmosphere that could bring some hope, or,
Right.
some joy or positivity.
Absolutely.
I mean, we opened the Big Brother box for a moment, and I know that Nicole and I were thinking when we did this show, obviously, we, are going to have to bring up Big Brother, a few Big Brother things. So I have to say, when we mentioned before Chat Went Crazy, of course, they want to know things like, are we ever getting another OTT? Are we getting Celebrity Big Brother? And I'm sure that, stay tuned. However, I want to take a question from someone you might know in chat, one Tommy Bracco, who says, Julie, what do you hope for the future of Big Brother?
Oh, well, first of all, hello, Tommy. He has his smile just lights up my world. And
True.
I think it lights up the world. So lovable, like, great guy. And I hope he's okay. I hope he's doing well. I know.
He's doing great.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's my hope for Big Brother. I will answer what I believe is my educated guess about another Celebrity Big Brother and another OTT. I would say I can see another Celebrity Big Brother happening. When? I don't know. But people need to understand it's a big undertaking.
Right.
And we have to take the order, when you order food, we have to take the order from the network. So the network needs to order it. They haven't ordered it, to my knowledge, as of yet. And I would know if they did, because then the producers would call me and say, block out your calendar, and it's a big undertaking to cast it, because you've got to find the celebrities who are willing to give up X amount of weeks of their life and to be examined for X amount of weeks of their life. My hope for Big Brother, OTT, I think, is going to be harder to do, but you never know, because right now we're seeing that the shows that are streaming are way more popular than the traditional old school broadcast network shows. So you never know. If there's money to be made, it will happen. And I personally think there is money to be made on that. But right now, again, by the grace of God, the broadcast old school version of Big Brother has been ordered for next summer. I would love for Big Brother to be at least another 25 years. I kind of have this secret dream. So The Price is Right used to be hosted by a guy named Bob Barker, and I think
Yes.
he went 55 seasons of that show. So I just want to be in his category and go like 50
Do you want to
to
break
50.
the record?
Well, I don't want to break the record. That's his record. That's his thing. But like, I would like to be right next to him, like right next door, or
Yeah.
like right under,
Mhm.
in the same, breathing the same air. So I would love to see another celebrity Big Brother. And I think now is the time to do it because most celebrities, they're not living that jet set lifestyle of traveling and having to go to, their movie premieres or this
Mhm.
premiere or a fabulous vacation in some fabulous place. Like now's the time to cast it. Trust me. The producers
right.
and I were pushing for it. We were like, hey, you want to order Celebrity Big Brother now? We can get it. If you order it now, we can roll out the house, vacuum it, clean it, disinfect it, and get those celebrities in there, like 3 days after finale night. But the network said no, not yet.
Not yet. Yet is
Not
good.
yet,
They
but first.
they said, yeah, that's it. But first, I think it was a hard time for them to say yes
Right.
because they have to put on their fall lineup. Let's not forget they have a responsibility to put up the shows that they ordered to go on in September that kept getting pushed. So I get it. I get why they couldn't
Mhm.
say this.
Right. And I'm sure, the pandemic is the numbers are going up. Everything is, unfortunately, I see parts of LA going back into lockdown. So I think that they're probably concerned with the safety of everyone as well on that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Well, to your
where it
point,
goes.
Eric, like our point was it's almost Big Brother's a show that was almost designed for the time we're living in.
Yeah,
because
it is.
Nicole can tell you, she and the other, all-stars got tested and were quarantined for a couple of weeks. And then we knew everyone was pristine and COVID-free. Then you could put them in the house and you're going to be watching a show at home that looks like the
Right.
show you love.
I know.
Yep. And it was
Love it.
so surreal in that bubble because you forget what's happening in the real world. I felt safer in that
Mhm.
bubble of we're all tested. It's just us in our little cocoon of big brotherness. And then when we did exit into the real world, it's like, oh, everybody has masks on. That's right. This is what I left the world to. So it was very strange.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that speaking of Big Brother, Julie, one other fun thing that we get to do here in the Hello Friends community in the TVCO app or wherever you guys are watching is we get to poll people live.
Yes.
And Nicole had an idea for a fun poll.
Yes.
Nicole, take it
Okay.
away.
So the poll, the question is, what is your favorite Julie Big Brother saying? So we
Mhm.
have number 1, expect the unexpected.
Mhm.
Number 2, but first.
Mhm.
Number 3, by a vote.
Mhm.
And number 4, answers are locked.
So,
And that's my best
Julie,
interpretation.
exactly. And you guys can put in hashtag and the number of your choice wherever you guys are watching this live right now. Julie, which one do you think they're going to say before I show the results?
I mean, but first is kind of like a no-brainer.
Mhm.
But I think the
Mhm.
dark horse that could win this is answers are locked.
I know. That's how I felt. I'm
Okay.
a very big fan of answers are locked.
Well, everyone live is, of course, as you said, Julie, going with but first. But
Okay.
I love that you love answers are locked. Nicole fought for answers are locked to be added in.
Because I love how assertive you are when somebody starts shifting their answer and you're just like, no, answers are locked. Put it back.
You have to keep in mind, I've got like people screaming
Yeah.
in my earpiece, like, ah! And I'm like, answers are locked.
Yeah.
Like, they're yelling at me. I gotta be stirred. I gotta like, please, you need to listen to me because we don't want to be we don't want to appear like, oh, you're favoring that person. You waited. It's like, no, I have to say it. And then everyone sees in live time, in real time. When I say it, that's it.
hmm
You
I
know?
love it.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
locking your answers is good, but it has to be answers are locked for me. That would be my answer. That's what I'm voting for.
It's
I
But
think-
First. But First has won with 55% of the vote. I would say second, Expect the Unexpected, not even close at 21%.
You know, I don't even think I ever said expect the unexpected this last season. It wasn't ever scripted. I might have said it in like an ad lib moment, you know,
Mhm.
talking to you, Nicole, and the others, and
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I thought like I wanted to always bring it up in our script meetings, like, hey, how come we haven't written that? Are you guys tired of it? Are you retiring it? Is it like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like punishment food? Like what's happening? Which is
Can I
all
just- I gotta put it out there. I feel like have-nots should be peanut butter and jelly. I think we should start a petition to bring that back.
nut allergies, nut allergies. Oh,
Darn
because
it.
it could be sunflower butter.
One sun butter.
One sun granola butter, channels.
We got it. I love it. I feel I cannot believe that we are almost out of time on
Yeah.
this show. Time has just flown, but I know that Nicole, we both wanted to mention Julie's book.
Yes, of course. Your children's book, When I Grow Up. I wanted you to speak about that because I think it's absolutely adorable and tremendous.
I was approached to write that book when my son, who's now 11, was probably, around 3 or 4. And what a learning experience it was for me. So I wrote it, thinking, oh, I could read this to him. By the time it came out, he was like, he aged out of it, but that's okay. He still liked it. When you become a parent, all you talk about prioritizing like your life. All you care about is that your child has a happy life, grows up to be respectful, well liked, earns a living, all those things. So I thought I have to write a book about, what a child dreams about becoming when they grow up and what a parent dreams for their child, and together that bond. Because my mother planted the seed in my head when I was in junior high in like 8th or 9th grade that I should be a broadcaster. And I never let go of, I come from a very traditional Chinese family. My parents are immigrants, and you listen to your parents. And when my mom said, I think that's what you should do, like I hung on every word of hers growing up. And I was like, well, if my mom says I should do that, like mom knows best. Okay. And then I went to college for it, and the ball just kind of kept rolling. And I wanted parents to read that and kind of do for their child what my mom did for me. Because there's nothing sadder than seeing kids who get out of school or going through school, or I don't know what I want to do with my life.
Mhm.
I don't know what direction to go in. It can be a big, scary world out there.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I want to say first, I feel I have been inspired by you, Julie, and the everything that you were doing. I think we have to give away one of your books. Nicole and I have to give away one of your books. So we will do
Yes.
that in the Hello Friends community in the TV co-op. And I think we should give away one on like Instagram too, Nicole.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
I'll sign a couple and send them your way, and then you send them the way you want to send them.
Oh,
Julie,
we
I
love
love
that,
that.
Julie.
Give me the name. If you know the name, I'll wait. Might take.
Okay.
We might as well do it right.
Love it.
To blah blah blah, and give me just a little synopsis. Like this is a person who's a child or a mother, whatever, and I'll just do something personally as it could be, based on me hearing about this person through you.
That's
Right.
incredible, Julie. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Julie. Now, I think we want to give you full screen before we wrap this up to say whatever it is that you would like to say to your fans. There are so many people that I am sure you are aware that are huge fans of you just as much as Big Brother.
Yes.
So we wanted to give you, full screen. What do you want to say to the thousands of people who have come out here this afternoon to hear from you? I'm going to give you full screen. Here you go.
Thank you. I would like to say thank you for watching Big Brother for so many seasons, old fans, new fans. I also want to say during this time, I know it's been hard on all of us for, a variety of reasons, depending where you're coming from, whether you're alone or you're a single parent that you've had enough trying to do your job from home while trying to get your kid to be on Zoom, on a class, or doing homework. I would just say, let's use this time to step back and kind of do what Big Brother does to the house guests. Big Brother, I always say, forces people to hold a mirror up to them, right there and say, like, ooh, I don't like that flaw, but I never saw it before until either I read about it online or saw it for myself watching the episodes. Let's take this time to re-examine what do we want to change about our circumstances, our life, our personality, what's happening in our day-to-day world. And if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. And be patient with one another and tolerant and respectful. A little goes a long way, especially now. You never know. It could be a hello or a smile, a thank you, a how are you? Try and do something and you're going to see the difference. Just try that. And don't complain. Stop the complaining, because complaining just gets your stress level up and you're hurting yourself. Pivot away from the complaining and just take a breath and say, all right, I keep beating my head into the wall and I'm not seeing any changes. That's frustrating. You need to pivot. You can't do the same thing day in and day out and expect a new outcome. So change is scary, change is hard, but it's worth it if you're not happy in whatever circumstance you're in right now. So use this time for the best to repivot, to pivot and restructure your life.
Absolutely. And everybody make sure you are following, obviously, Julie everywhere. Julie, I'll have you share the name of your socials in a second for everybody listening to this back. But also make sure you are following the Have Faith family in order to be eligible for the book giveaway. I think that's very important that everybody follow that because it is so inspirational.
Yeah. I was going to say that's a good way to do it on it. That we'll do one in the Hello Friends community and the TV Cup. I think we do one on Insta, but they have to be following, you, Julie, in your places. And then that's how we'll do that giveaway. I love that idea.
Yeah, there's just two places. It's on Instagram. It's Julie Chen Moonves, or even better, go to Have Faith Family. You'll see the rest of the members of the Have Faith family. And I feel like their words of wisdom every day inspire me, and I hope they inspire you.
Absolutely. And Julie, I do want to say before we close, I have to say, I'm going to bring it up. The last time you and I spoke face to face was at my eviction, which was a very difficult day for me. It was a very difficult time for me. And one of the most difficult moments in that moment was not being able to hug you. So I'm sending so many air hugs right now. And I just want to thank you for your kind words when it went to commercial, and for your support, and for the care package you sent, because like you said, learning about ourselves during this time and pivoting, that's something I've been very much doing these past few months, and I'm appreciative for people like you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. I hope the meanies online took a breath and looked at themselves in the mirrors,
Well, I just have to say first that, of course, we are going to put the links to all of your socials below this video, wherever you guys are watching it back. So many of your, both of your BB family members have come out here today to see Julia. I even see Keisha is in the chat right now as well. And she wants to know, Julie, yes, it's Christmas and we just finished Christmas, but your birthday is coming up. Yes. What are you going to do to celebrate your birthday?
I think I'm going to repeat what my husband and I did on the 23rd of December, which was our 16th wedding anniversary, we set up a table in this like TV room that is far away from where my son would be having dinner. We had dinner alone by this romantic fireplace in our home. And my mom has been staying with us since Thanksgiving. So I think on my birthday, I'm going to go, quote unquote, out to dinner to a room
Nice.
that's separated from my mom and my son, and have a romantic dinner, quote unquote, out. Out just means not in the same room as my mom and my
Right.
son. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do.
That's lovely. That's a
Perfect.
great idea for people that are, stuck at home. Most of us that are stuck at home right now, get away, even if it's not really like away, it's still away.
Yeah. I mean, it was
love
cute
it.
because at the end of the night, my son came in. He's like, "How's it going?" And I'm like, "Aren't you supposed to be with grandma?" Anyhow.
Oh, and
that's
Julie,
so good.
speaking of the holidays and presents, what is your favorite gift that you got for Christmas, and what are you looking forward to on your birthday gift-wise?
This was my favorite. My girlfriend got me this cross, and the story behind it is basically it's an antique. And oh gosh, I wish I had the story in front of me, but it's probably from like somewhere between the 7th and 11th century, worn by people who were, deep Christians who were leaning into their faith. And, being Christian isn't always the most popular thing. But this signifies to me people who stand in their truth and in their faith and in their belief in God. So this was my favorite. My girlfriend gave this to me. I was like, "You really know me." And like, we don't always do gifts. I'm like, "Come on." And then she was like, no, this year it's, you need this. So this was my favorite. And what was the other part of your question?
And what is a gift you're looking forward to on your birthday? What's on your
Is there-
wish list?
Oh, I don't want anything. I really don't. You get to an age and a stage where you look at something and you go, "Oh, that just takes up more space in the home." You really do.
I think I'm at that age now, Julie.
It's like I say, don't a homemade card from my son, that would be amazing. His like cute little handwriting and words. Or I happen to like pajamas, like flannel pajamas. I mean, everyone needs pajamas. That's like my favorite gift. I always tell, people say,
Plain or patterned?
Say again, patterned?
Oh, sorry. Plain or patterned?
No, I like plaid. I like a good plaid flannel pajama.
Okay.
And I also like the goofy ones, like with dogs or with like a Christmas theme. I
love it.
Yeah. And I like a plain, solid color also. In case you're shopping for me.
Yeah. Oh, I
thinking.
already have the best thought in mind for a Julie gift. But yeah. What size do you live in? No, Julie, we are unfortunately out of time, but we are so grateful and thankful that you have taken time out to come and talk to us, talk to your fans, Big Brother fans. Everyone here has loved the show across the board. We hope that you have had fun with us here today. And as always, Nicole, I want to give you final thoughts.
Oh man, final thoughts. Like I said in the beginning, you are a woman of many talents, from hosting to writing, to just being an inspiration. Like I said, everybody should be following you, especially the Have Faith family. I think, like you were saying this entire time, it's so important to bring people together to look inward and reflect on ourselves at this time. And that's something that you've inspired me to do. And I know you're inspiring more people to do. And I actually want to turn things to you, Julie, to give us some parting words of wisdom, as if this is the ending of a Big Brother episode.
Oh, okay. I would say, well, let me read this. I love these cards that my aunt got me. It's a box called The Good Word. She gave this to me a year ago, and there's 50 cards in here with scripture. And I look every day, and this one is from 1 Corinthians, and it's chapter. I got to put on my glasses. All right, Big Brother. All right, Big Brother. This is something you don't see every day on the show, and hopefully.
I love it.
Beautiful.
I love it.
I like the glasses, right?
I love the look. I love the glasses.
Thank you, Eric. This is from 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13, and it says, "Be watchful, stand firm in your faith, be courageous, be strong."
Oh,
I love it.
love it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this show. Like we said, we will be back on Tuesday. Well, we'll be back tomorrow with a live recording at 1 p.m. Eastern of our Hello Friends podcast, only in the Hello Friends community in the TV Co-app. And then Tuesday, we are joined by Nicole.
Matt from Pentatonics everywhere. So that is YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course in the TV Co app.
Thank you again so much, Julie. We
Thank
will
you,
see you guys
Julie.
all on the next show. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
friends.
guys.